Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch, doing my first weather briefing from a hotel room here in Lubbock, Texas. So caught a couple land spouts yesterday, and we're going to try to get some more tornadoes today, maybe do a little more for on the photogenic side. And I'll show you guys that forecast here coming up. But first, looking at the Pacific Northwest, you can see this next system out over the ocean here going to be sliding your guys' way over the next couple days today. But the next few days shouldn't be too bad. They're going to warm up nicely Wednesday and Thursday before really cool down again this weekend as we get some good troughing over the area. We'll show those systems moving in here, but we're going to be well below average, some cases 15 degrees below average for Portland, for example, coming up here. But diving right into things here, you can see Seattle's pretty close to normal yesterday, 66 and a low of 51. So pretty average temperature wise yesterday, just a little bit below average. But here's looking at the European model here now, and you can see the weak system moving in, but generally just onshore flow. We're still going to get up into the 60s for much of Western Washington and down towards Oregon, maybe even the low 70s. Then another weak system comes in on Friday. And then you can see another weak system just barrels directly into Oregon as we go through the weekend. So we're going to be pretty chilly through the weekend. Big troughs going to open up over the West Coast here and just continue our very chilly spring on into the extended here. Some of the ensemble runs are showing a warm up off into the future, but that always seems to be the case. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. Let's look at precipitation totals as we go on in through the week here. This is looking at the European model. This goes 10 days out. But you can see not bad Wednesday. You know, we start to bring a little bit of precip in, but not much at all. But then as you can see, the system start to approach as we go on into the day Friday. Check out some of the precipitation totals we get through British Columbia there. Then you can see that next system impact down into Oregon, the Cascades, and look at the rainfall that some of Idaho is getting here. This is late May, highly unusual. I mean, this looks more like something you'd get in January across the region here. As you can see, 10-day totals. Some of these are really looking like, I mean, over 3 inches, and you can see the higher terrains really get blasted here, as well as the Oregon and Washington coast, Vancouver Island, BC, higher terrains, and off into the higher terrain in Northeast Oregon. I mean, we're even going to get a little bit of snowfall here coming up. I mean, nothing really too crazy, but as you can see, the system that moves through on Sunday brings some snowfall all the way down through the Oregon Cascades, Washington Cascades, BC upper terrain, all the way down into Nevada's very chilly trough is going to set up over the west here. We'll look at some of the temperature anomalies here in a moment. And looking at this here, this is a 5-day running temperature anomaly. And look at as we get towards late May to early June, how this is a huge amount of cold air is going to be set up over the west here. So we're going to be well below average. You know, our La Nina spring is still in full effect here. We'll take a look at some of these La Nina numbers coming up here in a moment also. But let's look at mean ridge and trough position. I'll show you guys this trough coming up. Couple decent days, Wednesday and Thursday, looks like before the next system reaches us Friday. Then you can see the deep troughing really open up over the region there and just set up shop over the West USA. It's going to bring some severe weather out in the plains, which is good for us out here storm chasing, but chilly weather for the Pacific Northwest is definitely in store here. Going into the extended here, and you can see some ridging starts to build up over western portions. The Gulf of Alaska trough is still ongoing here on the European end of the extended. The GFS is a little bit different, but for the short term, it's pretty good agreement. You can see the system moving through on Friday. Deep trough setting up over the west coast there as it moves down. So good agreement with the European model there. And then you can see some ridging building in on the GFS, only to bring another deep trough across the west as we go on in through early June. That would continue the severe weather threat for the tornado alley out here in the plains, but it would bring continued very cold temperatures across the Pacific Northwest. But the good thing is all this precipitation we're going to be getting is really going to put the, you know, it's really going to damper the fires we're going to get this summer. So I'm looking forward to a summer where we're not dealing with much fire danger across much of the forests of British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon. Looking at the drought monitor here, they've taken off the extreme drought from Eastern Washington. Check that out, first time in a while. Still some severe drought going on there, but again, drought is a natural cycle of what goes on across eastern portions, especially Washington, Oregon, and places Idaho and Montana. But still, the central eastern Cascades of the East Slopes Cascades of Oregon are still in exceptional drought as we go here. Now looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies, you can see we are in moderate La Nina now. Check out these really chilly temperatures coming off the coast of South America, extending all the way out into the Pacific Ocean here. And again, Nino 3.4, this region out here is where we measure these sea surface temperature anomalies and we come up what kind of conditions we're in versus neutral El Nino or La Nina. And we are squarely in moderate La Nina at this time. You can see the pretty chilly water along the west coast here as a result. And you see the warmer temperatures in the Western Pacific as a result of this as well. And here's the recent models issued May 23rd. Yesterday, it's calling just for borderline La Nina conditions, but you can see as you go through the summertime here, you can see well below normal temperatures across the Pacific Ocean here. And as we go on in through all the way in through next winter, there is some disagreement though here. It looks like we might be moving into a neutral phase. So La Nina is not a sure bet to last into next year's spring, but we'll keep monitoring that. Okay, so you guys can see here on the European ensemble runs as we go on through the next 10 days, you can see Wednesday, Thursday, not bad temperatures, just below normal for SeaTac. But then you can see that troughing really set up and these systems start marching through the Pacific Northwest. And you can see these temperatures are well below average, at least 10 degrees below average for SeaTac. Then, of course, as always, it's kind of hinting at back to some normal conditions as we go on to next week. But you know how that goes. Sometimes it just doesn't materialize, but we'll keep watching that as it comes. And we'll try to pinpoint some of these systems as they're coming in, see if they're going to bring mountain snow or just thunderstorm activity or just plain old rain and cooler temperatures. So taking a look at the same thing here with Portland. Look at this. This is almost 15 degrees below normal as they go through later this week. And with that system just barreling in right over Oregon, that can change though. There's several days to go before that event comes in. So we'll watch to see the track of that and maybe some windy conditions along the Oregon coastline. But look at that. Wednesday, Thursday might be nice days here up towards 70 degrees for Portland. And then always that hint of something warm in the extended. But I'll be out here. I'm in Lubbock, Texas right now. You can see there's a tornado threat today that exists just to my southeast. And there's wind and hail out there as well. So I'll be out there chasing that today. And here's Lubbock, Texas, somewhere right about up in here. And I just wanted to show you guys the HRRR today. And you can see kind of the break during the day, daytime heating takes over. And then you can see some of these supercells fire up to my south and east here. So we're thinking about playing a little bit further west, but we may just end up going for the obvious target here. The supercells firing up down just south of the interstate across west central Texas. And as you can see, there'll be multiple rounds of weather coming through that night. Afterwards, probably be some flooding as this thing just barrels down towards the Gulf Coast. And then it'll probably give us a day off tomorrow. We'll probably take the day off tomorrow and Thursday, and then we'll be back chasing Friday, which looks more north towards Kansas, Colorado area. So, but anyway, I'll check in again tomorrow and we'll take a look again at these systems and just how chilly we're going to remain around the Pacific Northwest. I know you guys are looking for some nice weather, but enjoy Wednesday and Thursday before we really cool down again this weekend. It's not going to be a repeat of last weekend where we were pretty warm and nice. It's going to be pretty chilly and we're going to have rain at times and even a little bit of mountain snow. So enjoy that and those nice couple days coming up, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.